Happy Wednesday! So yesterday we went over and we reviewed lessons 81 to 85, and today we are going to go through lessons 86 through 90. So at any time, remember, you can always rewatch a video. If you need more clarification on something, please look at a video. They're not going anywhere. They're going to stay on YouTube, so you can go to my channel and look at those videos anytime you want. So let's start off on page 466, and our first lesson, remember we're doing 86 through 90. Okay, so on 86, it's about fact families. So remember, we've already learned fact families with addition and subtraction, but we are going deeper by going and now doing multiplication and division fact families. So let's take, for example, I'm going to have you turn to page 467, just the page over, and let's do example 2. So remember, they give us the numbers. Let me change the color so you don't get confused. 6, 7, and 42. And these numbers now are your fact family, okay? You can only use these numbers. Remember, for division, you have to start with the biggest number. So I'm automatically going to do this. So this is my division, and this is my multiplication. Okay? So with division, the only other numbers left are above. So I'm just going to do 42 divided by 6, and the only number left is a 7. Well, let's do the next one. If we already used the 6 first, now we have to use the 7 first, and that is a 6. So the division ones read 42 divided by 6 is 7, and 42 divided by 7 equals 6. So now, with multiplication, you are only going to use the smaller numbers first. So I'm going to stick my 6 there, my 7 there, put a multiplication sign. Again, you have to use the small numbers first. So let's put them there. And our answer is going to be 42. Alright? Let's see if you can do one on your own. I'm going to pause in here while you are going to work on it. Okay? This all, by the way, is this is all review for your quiz tomorrow. So while I'm erasing this, your quiz tomorrow is a 10-question quiz on all of the things we've done so far in this unit. It's not a test because we can't do that while you're at home. I don't want to stress you guys out. So let's do another one. Let's do example 3. That sounds good. So I'm going to write my numbers up here, 5, 3, and 15. And while you are working on that, I am going to, you can pause the video right here, work on it, and then once you are finished, then you can answer the question, okay? So I'll give you a second, pause the video, answer the question. Okay, welcome back. Multiplication section, division section. Here we go. My division section has to start with the biggest number first. So I'm dividing, has to use these numbers by 3 and by 5, and our answers are the only numbers left. Okay? Don't make this harder than it has to be, okay? Just start with the biggest number first, and then you just have to add the other ones. And then, multiplication, you have to start with the smaller number first. Smaller numbers, sorry. So then 5 times 3, 3 times 5, and we know both of these are equal to 15 because it's the only number left. Okay, that's as much as I'm going to go over fact families. Again, you can always rewatch this video. You can always rewatch the video on fact families. That's on YouTube. All right, let's move on to lesson 87. And lesson 87 is talking to us about capacity. So capacity, if you remember, our lovely lady that was on YouTube. And I hope you guys did it with her. If not, it's okay because she did most of it for us. So we know that 1 cup, I'm just going to use the abbreviations here. If you add times 2 to that, it equals 1 pint. So how many cups equals 1 pint? The answer is 2. So I'm going to write 1 pint equals 2 cups. Okay? So then if we add another, so we have 1 pint times 2. I'm just using abbreviations here, remember? 1 pint times 2, and that would equal to 1 quart. So then 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. Okay? Then again, we add 2. So I have 1 quart times 2 equals a half a gallon. And a half a gallon equals to 2 quarts. I know I'm saying the same thing over and over again. And then I'm just following along on page 472. Sorry, I don't think I said that. And at the top, it literally tells you this. So then if you multiply a half gallon times 2, it equals to 1 gallon. And one way you can remember that is a half a gallon, or a half of a cake, plus the other half of a cake is a whole cake, right? So if a half a gallon plus a half a gallon is a whole gallon, that makes sense. So another way I want you to look at this. I know I just did all that work, but let me see. So let me erase this for you. And if you're a more visual person, I want you to check this out for me. So again, is Mrs. Lee a drawer? No. Is she an artist? No. Can she make pretty pictures? No. So just follow along with me and try to imagine the best you can. Okay? This is a cup, let's say. A cup plus another cup equals 1 pint. And this is officially going to be our pint. Alright? 2 pints equals 1 quart. Okay? Then we have 2 quarts equals to a half gallon. So think about that little half gallon of milk that you buy. I'm just trying to make them a little bit different looking. And then 2 half gallons equals to a full gallon. And there's that milk jug that you guys always buy. Okay? So, remember, always think about what is next in line. So I know a cup is the smallest, then there's a pint, then there's a quart, then there's a half gallon, then there's a gallon. So for example, if on a test it says how many cups is equal to 1 pint, you're going to be like, boom, I know this too. 2 cups equals 1 pint. Perfect. 2 pints equals 1 quart. 2 quarts equals a half gallon, and 2 half gallons equals 1 gallon. Okay? All right, let's move on to lesson 88. Here we go. Lesson 88. Sorry, it takes so long for me to erase. It probably looks cool to you guys because I'm getting every little morsel off the paper. All right, let's make it light blue, and let's turn to page Evens and Odds, which is on page 477. So, you can look at this for reference, but I really want you to dial in for me. Okay? The number one thing that we went over during evens and odds lesson is if it ends odd, the whole thing's odd. If it ends even, the whole thing's even. So, let's do a couple of these together. Let's take this number for example, 86. We're always looking at this number right here, and I hope you all know that's the ones place, but I'm going to write it there anyways. Okay? In the ones place, that will tell you whether your answer is even or odd. So, 86 is even. It is definitely even. Okay? So this is even. But, now let's do one that's odd. 81, for example. 1 is odd, and I already know you guys know that. 8 is even, but it depends on which number it ends with. Okay? That is the most important thing to remember when we talk about this. So let's do a more difficult one. I'm going to leave our little notes up there about ends even, ends odd. And let's do a question like this. 103. Automatically, I'm going to underline my 3. Because the 3 is in my ones place. And 3 is odd. So my whole answer is odd. Okay? Let's do one more. And just model as I go. Okay? If I miss a little line, I'm sorry. I know that will probably drive some people nuts. Let me do yellow. And let's do an answer like, let's do 74. Automatically, I'm underlining my ones place. And 4 is even, so you betcha 74 is even. Even though 7 is odd. Okay? Alright. Let's move on. We're moving rapidly to lesson 89. Let's erase these notes. Okay. Erase my little note up there. 89. And again, this was the multiplication table one. The main takeaway that I want you to look on this is, yes, I could use a multiplication table for these, but I don't want you to at this point. Okay? Because I know that you are studying so hard on your multiplication facts and your division facts, and you know these. If you still need a multiplication chart, I am okay with that, but please try to break the habit soon, because in 4th grade, we're not going to be using multiplication charts. Okay? Alright, so let's go ahead and just divide a couple together, and I'm going to use the traditional way. I don't think that I used this the last time we were here. And this is how you would say this. Remember, we always start with who is underneath the tent. 72 divided by 9. And again, if you need to do it backwards, you ask yourself 9 times what to equal 78. Or you can just think 72 divided by 9 equals 8. Okay? Our quotient goes at the top. This is our quotient. That is the answer to any division question. And 72 is our dividend, and 9 is our divisor. Okay? You don't need to know those other ones yet, but it's just good to have in your mind. So let's do another way, and I'm going to use the traditional division way just so you can see that more often. Okay, let's do 54 divided by 6. Now some of you are already saying, ooh, I know this one, because you know that 54 is part of the 9 times tables. So that's great. You're already thinking that in your head. Okay, it's awesome. So we know that this answer is 9. So the quotient is 9. 54 divided by 6 is 9. We're not saying 6 divided by 54, right? Even though that's first, we always do math right to left. So 54 divided by 6 equals 9. Okay, let's erase this, do our last lesson. I'm going to try to do this quickly because it's a very long video again. And we are going to an equal group story. I'm going to do one equal group story. And I'm actually going to take it from here we go. Perfect. So I'm going to be on page 489, and I'm on question 6. Okay? So it says, on Monday, Max finished the fact practice quiz in 80 seconds. I think this is important to write. So I'm going to go ahead and do, oops, let's pick purple. Fun. 80 seconds. Okay? On Wednesday, he finished in half the time. In how many seconds did Max finish the quiz on Wednesday? 80 seconds divided by 2 is what this is asking. Anytime that someone says, please say half of this, take half of this pie, take half of this soup, that is divided by 2. So I'm going to write it the traditional way. 80 divided by 2. And I'm going to think in my head first, what times 2 is 80? I can also think what plus what is 80. Okay? Either way you do this, you're going to get an answer of 40. Okay? Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so let's do one more and I'm going to make it up. Here we go. Let's choose, let's do orange. Okay. My students spent 60 minutes outside. Their teacher said they get half the time tomorrow because they didn't have enough time in their schedule. Automatically, when I say the word half, you should be thinking times 2. Not times 2. Whoa, not times 2. Divided by 2. So 60 divided by 2, and we're going to get an answer. Okay, so we're thinking in our head, remember the 2 ways. What plus what equals 60, or 2 times what gives us our answer. And the answer is 30. Again, class, if you have any questions, email me, send me your questions to email. You can look in your book for different examples if you're having some issues. And I'm going to sign off because it's a really long video again. Okay, guys, have a blessed day. Goodbye.